The city of Hamilton is one of the most biologically diverse areas in Canada. With its boundary encompassing a part of the Niagara Escarpment and the Carolinian Zone, Hamilton is recognized internationally, provincially, and locally as a hotspot for rare species and communities. In fact, over 1,500 species have been cataloged in this area. Because the city is a unique place, our natural areas have been scientifically inventoried and assessed for over 30 years. To date, 103 of our natural areas have been summarized in documents titled the Hamilton Natural Areas Inventory. Each summary provides a description of the historical and present evaluations of the natural area, its physiography, geology, soils, hydrology, ecological land classification, and scientific plant communities and species accounts. Inventories were carried out from 1990 to 1991 by the Hamilton Naturalist Club, and again from 2001 to 2002 in partnership with the Hamilton Conservation Authority and the City of Hamilton. The three partners have come together once again to update these documents. The latest issue will include modernized mapping, new species accounts, and revised site recommendations that will aid the agencies responsible for protecting and enhancing natural features. Compiling a natural areas inventory is no simple feat. Being able to distinguish species apart requires a trained eye, and natural areas inventory staff, professional consultants, students, and volunteers log hundreds of hours in the field identifying plants, animals, and their communities. New species occurrences are recorded and samples are taken if possible. All species observations and ecological community descriptions are viewed carefully to highlight changes in ecosystems and areas that require special attention. When the project is complete, agencies will have an updated tool that will include a complete inventory of flora and selected fauna, ecological land classification descriptions, evaluation and recommendations, vegetation communities, rare species locations, and rare habitats. The Natural Areas Inventory Project provides us with information regarding what plant and animal species occur in each natural area and if they are rare, at risk, or endangered and need special attention. We can determine if these ecosystems are changing and to an extent how they are changing, and if these systems can continue to thrive and support their diverse communities. Perhaps most importantly, we are able to provide recommendations on how these natural areas should be cared for. This information guides our decision-making process in establishing protected areas, enhancing areas, and in some cases, creating habitat where new natural areas are needed to enhance and support current plant and wildlife communities.
All right, I'm in the west end of the Dundas Valley doing primarily a bird survey, most of which I do by ear. I'm listening for bird song, and thus far I've heard red-eyed vireo, eastern wood pewee, indigo bunting, American crow, and an American redstart. It's important to know what we've got, and birds, especially the neotropical migrants, the warblers and flycatchers that winter in Central and South America, have been threatened by deforestation on their wintering grounds, and also deforestation, urban sprawl of various kinds, especially in eastern North America. And so we want to monitor what their status is, whether they're in decline, and inventories such as this, done every 10 or 15 years, allow us to plot any negative trends, any declines in species. And then we can take some steps, we hope, to preserve more habitat, to do other management methods to try to preserve these species.
One of the more unique natural features in the city of Hamilton is the Niagara Escarpment. The Ecological Land Classification Team surveyed the escarpment in 2012 and identified the plant communities that make up the cliff, talus, and forest habitats. These habitats are home to hundreds of species of plants, birds, butterflies, and other wildlife.
I'm standing in one of the rarest ecosystem types in the city of Hamilton. It's a tall grass prairie. Only fragments exist of this ecosystem that was once quite common across the landscape. It's important for us to know where these remnants occur so that we can provide management recommendations to ensure these prairies maintain their intricate composition of grasses and wildflowers.
This is a grassland in the Dundas Valley, partly pre-settlement natural prairie and partly old fields. This is a rather rare habitat in Hamilton and indeed across southern Ontario and eastern North America, and it has with it a guild of birds that are threatened as a consequence of the loss of grasslands. A grassland like this supports grasshopper sparrow, eastern meadowlark, bobolink, upland sandpiper, and a few other species, all of which have declined drastically as intensive land use has expanded even over the last 50 years.
The Hamilton Conservation Authority was founded over 55 years ago in response to natural heritage and conservation concerns within our watershed. Since that time, our mandate has grown to include things such as flood forecasting, floodplain management, ecological restoration, watershed stewardship, environmental education, and environmental monitoring. Those natural heritage lands that we own within our watershed, over 10,000 acres, form part of the overall natural heritage features within our watershed area. These lands are facing increasing pressure from urbanization and climate change. And the first and foremost, the best way of dealing with that and managing those is knowledge. Knowing what species and biological communities are present, so we're best prepared to manage those features and needs. One of the tools that we accomplish this through is the Natural Areas Inventory, which is a complete inventory of the natural heritage features within our watershed.
The City of Hamilton recognizes that one of the key aspects to a healthy, thriving city is healthy ecological communities. Healthy natural areas improve air and water quality and the quality of life for residents. The information collected from the Natural Areas Inventory assists us and the Hamilton Conservation Authority in identifying natural heritage features in our boundaries, features which are protected under the Planning Act. When applications come forward for land use changes under the Planning Act, we use the Natural Areas Inventory to determine if the land use changes are compatible with the natural environment. We also use the Natural Areas Inventory to guide habitat restoration initiatives, conservation easements, monitoring activities, creating or revising policy, and land management strategies.
One of the goals of land stewardship programs is to help private property owners of natural areas undertake management activities to maintain and enhance the natural features on their properties. Many of the property owners we work with participate in the Natural Areas Inventory by allowing the Hamilton Conservation Authority and its partners access to their properties. These property owners provide us valuable feedback on the challenges they face as part owners of environmentally significant areas. This feedback, plus the information collected from the inventory, assists us in tailoring our funding and awareness programs. We are better able to address their needs and create opportunities for them to undertake habitat enhancement projects and to guide habitat restoration activities. Assisting the wildlife and natural areas of Hamilton does not end at the end of the workday. It is a commitment, a promise made by the many, whether it is keeping dogs leashed in natural areas, planting native species in our gardens, reporting rare species sightings, or simply appreciating the beauty of our natural areas. The impact of the information collected from the Natural Areas Inventory is far-reaching. As a visitor to one of the many public natural areas in the City of Hamilton, you have probably enjoyed one of the carefully planned trails, a trail which provides wildlife viewing opportunities, yet avoids areas that are sensitive to disturbance. Perhaps you have casted a line into one of the many designated fishing areas, or volunteered at a tree planting event, or worked alongside the Hamilton Conservation Authority through a permit application to ensure land use changes won't adversely impact natural areas. These activities, and many more, are all guided by the information made available through the Natural Areas Inventory project. The Natural Areas Inventory Project has revealed that the natural areas of Hamilton are truly special. Few other cities have so many unique habitats within their borders. There are many species at risk throughout the city that will be able to thrive as long as we take the necessary steps to protect them and their habitats. We have learned about these species and ecosystems through the Natural Areas Inventory Project. With this knowledge, we are able to appreciate and celebrate Hamilton's natural heritage.